Hey everybody, it's time for a game of payoff pitch baseball. Just thought I would take a break from my 87 Braves replay to play some different games. Haven't put a video out of payoff pitch in a while, so I thought I would do just a random game from back in the day, 1977. It's going to be the Detroit Tigers against the expansion Toronto Blue Jays. And I'm going to try to do a hybrid version, which is using the dice to get the random numbers and then using the fast action cards to determine outs, runner advancement, and so forth. So we've got the dice, we've got the fast action cards, and we've got both our teams out here. This game is going to be played in Toronto at Exhibition Stadium. So we'll be using that card. And leading off, or pitching for the Blue Jays, will be rookie Jerry Garvin, the lefty. And he will be going against Mark the Bird Fidrych for the Tigers. So we'll get things going here, and we're going to roll the dice on the score sheet and then use the fast action cards to determine runner advancement, outs, and so forth. All right, so leading things off against Jerry Garvin will be Ron LeFlore, the center fielder for the Tigers. So we'll see what Ron LeFlore can do on this first at bat. It's a 9. So a 9 is a ballpark, so immediately we go to Exhibition Stadium to check the ballpark. The next roll is a 54. So Exhibition Stadium, 54 with a right-handed batter means it's in play. So we're going to re-roll the two D10s and check the in play. It's a 36. 36 Ron LeFlore in play against a left-handed pitcher is a base hit. 9-38. So Ron LeFlore gets a base hit. So that's the way this game starts out. Ron LeFlore with a base hit. Did not need the fast action card just yet, but we probably will at any minute. So here is Tito Fuentes, the batter. Tito Fuentes, second baseman, journeyman. Is going to be up there to face Jerry Garvin. Switch hitter, batting right-handed. And we get a 6 for Garvin, which is in play, and we get a 66. So Tito Fuentes, 66 in play is definitely out of range. We're in the out range. 66 is a ground ball to second. Now the question is it a double play, force play, or exactly what's going to happen here? So we're going to go to the fast action cards and do a flip, and we're going to check the out range for the infielders and see if it's a ground ball, double play, or exactly what it is. The flip is ground ball plus advance. So that means that we're going to get an advancement here. In other words, I'll take that back. Tell I haven't played this game in a while. That's not going to be how it goes. We need to check for a double play using the double play rating of both the pitcher and the batter. So I did catch myself. The double play rating was a 6 for Garvin and a 6 for Tito Fuentes, and the 2D6 roll was a 6. So since that 2D6 roll is less than or equal to both the double play ratings of both players, that will be a double play. So that's going to be ends up being a 4-6-3 double play. I'll get it right in a minute. And just like that, there are 2 quick outs with the bases empty, and that'll bring up Rusty Staub, the designated hitter, lefty-on-lefty matchup with Jerry Garvin. And we'll see what Garvin can do here against Staub. It's a 7, and a 7 means we're in the tough range for Garvin. And it's a 10, a tough 10. 10 for Rusty Staub in the tough range against a lefty is a strikeout. So Jerry Garvin gets the strikeout. And after half an inning, it is Detroit 0 and Toronto coming to bat. And we're going to get the Enigma, Mark the Bird Fidrych. Don't know if he'll be talking to the ball in this game or not. And he'll be facing Al Woods to lead things off, the left fielder Al Woods. We get a 9, and a 9 under Fidrych is in play, and we got a 37. 37, Woods in play, He just missed it. It's a 30. So a 37 means he pops up to the third baseman. So Al Woods pops up to Aurelio Rodriguez, and that's out number 1. So the Bird, happy about that, gets the out, and that'll bring up the rookie shortstop, Bob Baylor. So Bob Baylor steps to the plate against the Bird. It's a 9. 9 is in play, and we got an 81. In play, 81. So that's definitely out of range. 81 is a fly out to center. So there's quickly 2 away here in the bottom of the first. And that'll bring up another rookie. First baseman Doug Alt. He was a Texas Ranger farmhand back in the early 70s. But with the expansion of the Blue Jays, he was drafted and got a chance and produced. And he actually hit 11 home runs, and he hit 245, 11 home runs, 64 RBIs, I believe. Yep, that's what it was. So Alt is a first baseman, and he will be in there against the Bird. Alt, right-handed hitter. It's an 8. An 8 is tough, and we've got a 4. Tough 4. Low number in the tough category means a strikeout. So the Bird rolls through the Blue Jays. Bird rolling through the Birds. And after 1 inning of play, we are scoreless from Toronto. All right, now we've got Rusty Staub, who made the last out, so we need to move him out of the way. Mickey Stanley. Mickey Stanley will lead off the top of the second. He is the left fielder in this game against lefty Jerry Garvin. And we've got a 7. 7 on Garvin is tough. And a 39. 39 tough against a lefty. Strikeout. If he'd have gotten a 40, he'd have got a double. But it's a 39, which is a strikeout. So Stanley is out on strikes to start the second. And that'll bring up a young left-handed hitter named Ben Oglivie, or Oglivie. Later became famous with the Brewers in the 80s. All right, here is lefty-on-lefty matchup. And we've got a 21 on the 2D10s and a 6 on the 2D6s. That's in play. In play 21. In play 21 against the lefty is a base hit. So Ben Oglivie gets a base hit. 1 out single for Oglivie. And that'll bring up veteran third baseman Aurelio Rodriguez. Aurelio Rodriguez, veteran third baseman, facing Jerry Garvin. Righty on lefty. It's a 12 on the 2D6s, and a 12 is defense. So, for the defensive check, we got a 22. A 22. And I said I was going to use the fast action cards, so that's what we will do. I don't have the charts in front of me for the dice. So we're going to check a defensive check here and see what we get. Defense, we'll be looking at an error on the left fielder, potential error on the left fielder. The left fielder in this case for the Blue Jays is Al Woods. Al Woods has an error rating of 2. If we go to the ballpark, error rating of 2, and the result was a 22, that is going to be an error. 1 to 51 makes it an error. Let's see what kind of an error, or how many bases we get on an error. And it's a 1 base error on the outfielder. Now, that means that the runner is going to go 1 base because Ogilvie was already on first. So Rodriguez is going to go to second on the E7. So runners are at first and second with 1 out. Shaky Blue Jay defense. And that brings up a young left-handed hitting first baseman for the Tigers. Later became famous more with the Pirates, maybe. Jason Thompson, the lefty. Lefty on lefty against Jerry Garvin, who's trying to pitch out of this. It's a 9. 9 is ballpark. And it's an 86, so we're going to go to the in play on that. And we get an 81. 81 in play is going to be a fly out to center field. So fly out to center field, everybody will have to hold. And there are 2 outs for catcher Milt May. So Milt May steps to the plate for the Tigers. Lefty on lefty matchup against Garvin. 2 on, 2 out. It's an 8 for Garvin. That is tough. Garvin's in the tough range on an 8. And it's a 17. Tough 17 against a lefty is a strikeout. So Garvin gets around that error and gets out of the jam. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. And that'll bring up designated hitter Ron Fairly, a veteran. He was with the Dodgers back in the 60s. He ended his career with Toronto as a DH. He'll be starting off against the Bird. It's a 9. 9 is in play against Fidrych, and it's a 60. So an in-play 60 is in the out range. That's a fly ball to right field. So Ron Fairly flies out to right field for out number 1, and that brings up Otto Velez, the right fielder, Otto Velez, against Fidrych, righty on righty matchup. And we get an 11, which is in play on Fidrych, and we get a 65, which is in play. 65 is in the out range. That's a ground ball to the second baseman, Fuentes, and there's 2 away. So quickly 2 up, 2 down for Fidrych, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Roy Howell, another former Texas Ranger infielder, now with the Blue Jays in 77. It's a 10, which is in play, but it's a 48. A 48 in play. 48 is a ground ball to the first baseman, Jason Thompson, and the inning is over. So Fidrych has retired all 6 Blue Jays he has faced. We go to the third. Still no score. And leading off for the Tigers will be the number 9 hitter, shortstop Tom Verizor. Tom Verizor, the shortstop, will be leading things off against the lefty Garvin. We get a 10. 10 is patient on Garvin, and a 17. So a patient, or I don't know if it was 17 or 13, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be a walk either way. So Tom Verizor, a leadoff walk here to start the bottom of the third. Not what you want if you're Garvin. That brings up the top of the order, and Ron LaFleur, who singled his first time up, then was erased on a double play. LaFleur, a 4. 4 is in play, and a 56. In play 56 against a lefty is going to be a ground ball to third. Probably not a double play, though, although, let's see here, it's a 4. A 4 is less than or equal to the double play rating of both Garvin and LaFleur. So since the 2d6s are less than or equal to that, it will be, in fact, a double play. So it's going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play for out number 2. 2 outs very quickly. And that brings up Tito Fuentes, the second baseman. He hit into a double play his first time up. Can't do it now because there's already 2 outs. Fuentes, a 3. A 3 is in play, and it's a 69. In play 69 is a ground ball to second. So the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Tigers in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third. Still scoreless, and Alan Ashby, the catcher, switch-hitting catcher, will lead off for the Blue Jays. He later was more prominent with the Astros in the 80s, but right now in 77, he's with the Blue Jays. It's a 9. 9 is in play, and a 44. In play 44 against a right-hander puts him at a ground ball to third. So Ashby grounds it to Aurelio Rodriguez for out number 1. And we get to the number 8 hitter, second baseman Steve Staggs. It's a 6, which is in play, and it's a 46. In play 46. In play 46 is a pop out to the shortstop. So he pops it up to Verizor. 2 outs very quickly. And we're down to the number 9 hitter. And that's center fielder Gary Woods. So Gary Woods, center fielder, steps in against the Bird. It's a 7. 7 is tough under Fidrych. And it's a 7. 7 tough is a strikeout. So the Bird, ruffling the feathers of the Blue Jays, puts them down in order again. All 9 in a row he has faced and set down. We've completed 3 here at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and we're scoreless. All right, Rusty Staub is going to lead off the top of the 4th here for the Tigers. And the 2D6 is an 8. So on Garvin, that is tough. And on the 2D10s, we get a 57. 57 for Staub under tough is out of range. So that's a fly ball to right field. So Staub flies to right for out number 1. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Mickey Stanley. Mickey Stanley, the batter, right-handed hitter. It's a 6. 6 against Garvin is in play. And in play 49, that was a 9 there, 49. In play 49 against a lefty is out of range. That's a fly to right also. So back-to-back fly balls to the right fielder, Otto Velez, and there's 2 away for Ben Oglivie. Ben Oglivie, the Tiger right fielder, steps to the plate, and Oglivie got a base hit his first time up. See what he can do this time. Oglivie, we get a 5, and that is patient for Garvin. And we get a 1, so a patient, that was a 0 there. A patient and a 1, even if it was a 41, he still walked, but it was a 0-1. But it's a walk for Oglivie. So Oglivie has reached both times, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Aurelio Rodriguez. And he reached on an error by the left fielder his first time up. So 2 outs and a runner on first, and here's Rodriguez. It's a 5. 5 is patient, and a 19. Patient 19 is another walk. So back-to-back walks by the Tigers with 2 outs. They got something going. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Jason Thompson. So Thompson is up with 2 on and 2 out. Garvin trying to find the strike zone here. It's a 5. That again is in the patient range. And an 11. So he has just walked his 3rd consecutive batter. So how do you like that? 3 consecutive walks have loaded the bases after getting 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up the catcher, Milt May. And so Garvin, not known to walk a lot of people necessarily, only has 1 patient or 2 patient checks on his card, and he's found the number 5 option for patient 3 times in a row. See if we can roll something different here. So we roll a 12. So 12 is defense, and the defense we're going to have is going to be the range of the center fielder. So the center fielder range for Gary Woods, he's got a range of C. So if you look at the ballpark range C, 1 to 45 will be a hit. Anything else will be an out. The 2D10 roll was a 92, which means that is an out. So the play is made by Gary Woods, and the inning is over. So Garvin pitches out of a wildness jam there, loading the bases. But he is out of the inning, and we're back to the Bird. Mark Fidrych, top of the order against Alvis Woods, or Al Woods. And we get a 3. 3 on Fidrych's patient. And we get a 7, so that will be a walk. First base runner, allowed by Fidrych. It's a leadoff walk to Al Woods. So Al Woods draws a leadoff walk, and that will bring up the shortstop, Bob Baylor. So Bob Baylor steps to the plate. It's a 5. 5 is in play for Fidrych, and it's a 62. In play 62. A 62 is a fly ball to right. So 1 away as Baylor flies out to Oglivie. 1 away, Woods still at first, and that brings up the first baseman, Doug Alt. Doug Alt struck out his first time up. He might do it again. Let's see. It's an 8, which is tough, and it's a 5, which means that is a strikeout. So he's done it again. Fidrych has struck out Alt for the second time. Now there's 2 outs, a runner at first for the venerable Ron Fairly, the designated hitter. See if he can get the first hit for the Blue Jays in this game. It's a 5, and a 5 is in play, and a 30. In play 30 is a base hit. He just found it. It ends at 30, and he found it. So Ron Fairly gets a base hit. Now Woods is on first, so we'll see about runner advancement. And it says here on a base hit, runner advances 1 base. So that's all you're going to get is a 1 base advancement. So Woods will go to second. Fairly stops at first. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs for right fielder Otto Velez. So Otto Velez with a chance. Velez the batter. It is a 3, and a 3 is patient under Fidrych, and a 52. So a patient 52 is a walk. So that will load the bases. Second walk of the inning by Fidrych. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And we got the same situation we had in the top of the inning. And this time left-handed hitting third baseman Roy Howell with a chance to put the Blue Jays in front and break the scoreless tie. We got a 7 and we got a 6. So the D6s are a 7, which is tough. Number 6 under tough is a strikeout. So Fidrych bears down and gets out of it. And we played 4 complete, and we're still scoreless as we go to the top of the 5th. And left-hander Jerry Garvin back out on the mound. He will be facing the number 9 hitter, Tom Verizor, the shortstop. Tom Verizor. He will be the leadoff hitter in this inning. He walked his first time up. It's a 9. So a 9 under Garvin is ballpark. And the ballpark is an 8. An 8. So ballpark 8 means we're in the wheelhouse. So we're going to get another roll here on the 2D10s to see what Verizor can do in the wheelhouse. Now, he does not have a home run against left-handed pitching, so he can't hit a homer. 85, he can't do anything. 85 is a ground ball to short. So Verizor missed his pitch. He had a chance, but ended up grounding it to short for out number 1. And now we're back to Ron LaFleur, the top of the order. Ron LaFleur. And LaFleur has singled and grounded into a double play. 1 for 2. It's a 2. 2 against Garvin is defense. Defense number 76 is our result. So let's see what the defensive check is. And the defensive check is an error on the third baseman. Third baseman for Toronto is Howell, who is an error rating of 3. Error rating of 3, but the roll was a 76, so he did make the play. Now let's see what kind of an out it was. It was a ground ball out. So a 5-3 ground out for out number 2. And just like that, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down for Tito Fuentes, second baseman. A 5 is patient, but we got an 89. And Fuentes, patient, 89 is a ground ball to short. And that's going to do it for the top of the fifth. Nothing doing for the Tigers. We are still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the fifth. And catcher Alan Ashby will be leading things off to start the bottom of the fifth against the Bird. They've broken through with at least a hit. Now they're trying to break through with a run. Ashby grounded to third his first time up. This time we get 79 on the two D10s and a 6 on the two D6s. 6 is in play, and a 79 on Ashby. 79 is a ground ball to short. So Ashby grounds to short for out number 1. That brings up second baseman Steve Staggs. Steve Staggs. Staggs, a 3, is patient against Fidrych, and a 43. So a patient 43 is a walk. So Staggs draws a 1-out walk, and that brings up the number 9 hitter, Gary Woods. Gary Woods, center fielder. It's a 6 against Fidrych, which is in play, but we got a 98. In play 98 is a fly ball to left field for out number 2. So 2 down, and the order flips over to Al Woods, who walked his last time up. Al Woods just got Gary Woods out. Now there's Al Woods. Can Fidrych get out of the woods? It's a 5. 5 is in play, and it's a 19. In play 19 is a base hit. Base hit. Let's check runner advancement. Runner advances 2 bases on a base hit. So therefore, Staggs will motor to third, and Al Woods is at first with a single. So runners at the corners, 2 outs for shortstop Bob Baylor. So Bob Baylor with a chance to put the Blue Jays in front. He's 0 for 2, 2 flyouts. It's a 7 and a 97, so that's not good for him. 7 is tough. 97's a fly to left, and the inning is over. So we completed 5, and they're still scoreless. And honestly, when I started this game, I thought the batters would have a field day against these pitchers, but apparently not. Garvin and Fidrych had other ideas. So we're starting the top of the 6th, and it's Rusty Staub, designated hitter. He's 0 for 2, strikeout and fly to right. 7 against Garvin is in the tough range, and it's a 78. Tough 78 is a fly to center. So Staub is out. 1 away, and that brings up Mickey Stanley. Stanley a 9. 9 is ballpark, and we got a 24. So ballpark 24 is definitely in the wheelhouse. So we're going to re-roll for the wheelhouse check for Mickey Stanley. And Stanley gets a 62. So wheelhouse 62 is out of range on Stanley. So the out range for 62 is a ground ball to second. And that'll be 2 away very quickly. So he missed the pitch there as well. As Garvin grooved one, but Stanley could not take advantage. That'll bring up Ben Ogilvy. And Ogilvy gets a 5, which is patient, but a 76. So a 76 patient is in the out range. That's a fly to center, and the inning is over. So still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And it's like which team wants to produce a run here. But we're at Doug Ault, the power-hitting first baseman for the Blue Jays, to lead off the 6th. Doug Ault. He has struck out both times he's faced Fidrych. Could he do it again? 3 is patient, so he won't strike out of the patient range. It's a 61. 61 is an out range. That's a grounder to second. So there's 1 away. So at least he didn't strike out. I guess that's something. Here's Ron Fairley, who has gotten a base hit his last time up. It's a 2. 2 is ballpark for Fidrych, but it's a 91. So we're going to be in play for Fairley. And the in play is an 81. And Fairley 81 is a fly to center. So Fairley is gone. 2 down very quickly for the right fielder, Otto Velez. Otto Velez. It's a 4, which is defense check. So we're going to check the defense, and then we're going to have a 92 as a result of that defense. The defensive check is arranged by the second baseman. And the second baseman in this case is Tito Fuentes. Fuentes has a range rating of B. Range rating of B. So the 92 definitely fits into that category. Let's see what kind of an out it was. It was a line out. So he snared the line out. And that's going to be a L4 to end the inning. So we completed 6 here at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and there's nothing but goose eggs on the scoreboard. We go to the 7th. Nothing. Okay, top of the 7th, Aurelio Rodriguez, the third baseman, lead off against Garvin. In case you're wondering about fatigue, Garvin has a fatigue rating of 8. Fidrych has a fatigue rating of 9. So both pitchers, it was common for them to pitch complete games or near complete games, especially when twirling shutouts. So here's Aurelio Rodriguez against Garvin. We have a 9, and a 9 is ballpark, and the ballpark is a 5. That is a wheelhouse check. So maybe Rodriguez can break the tie right here. And he will. That's a 7. That is a 7. So a 7 in the wheelhouse is a home run. So Aurelio Rodriguez has finally broken through with a home run off of Garvin. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Tigers. Solo shot to lead off the top of the 7th as Garvin left one in the wheelhouse. And Rodriguez did not miss it. Here is Jason Thompson. It's a 4, which is in play, and a 13. In play 13 for Jason Thompson is a base hit. So maybe Garvin's starting to struggle a little bit. The bullpen may need to think about getting into action. And in fact, Jerry Johnson, the right-hander, is loosening in the Toronto bullpen in case Garvin starts to falter a little bit. Here's catcher Milt May. It's a 8. An 8 is tough, and a 6. Tough 6 is a strikeout. 1 away. Milt May is gone on the strikeout, and that'll bring up shortstop, number 9 hitter Tom Verizor. Tom Verizor with Thompson at first and 1 out. It's a 9. A 9 is ballpark 42. Ballpark 42 is in the wheelhouse. So we're going to check Verizor again. He had the wheelhouse check last time, but he has no home run capability against lefty pitching. Gets a 72. 72 is going to be well out of range. 72 is a fly ball to center field. So Verizor got it. His pitch he wanted, but didn't quite get enough of it. Flies to center for out number 2. And we're back to the top of the order, and Ron LaFleur. Ron LaFleur. 1 for 3. It's a 5, which means we are patient. And it's a 21. Patient 21 is a walk. Just barely. 1 to 21 is a walk. So a walk to LaFleur. And that will move Thompson to second base. Runners at first and second. 2 outs for Tito Fuentes. Switch hitting second baseman. It's a 7. So a 7 is tough 85. Tough 85 is a ground out to short. And we could check to see if it's a fielder's choice or whatnot. Let's see. We'll flip the card here. Ground ball fielder's choice. So we'll say it's a 6-4 fielder's choice. And they retire LaFleur sliding into second to end the inning. But the Tigers do pick up the home run from Aurelio Rodriguez. And after 6.5. It is now the Tigers 1 and the Blue Jays nothing. They've given the Bird a 1-run lead to work with. And Roy Howell, the batter. Start the bottom of the 7th. 4. 4 is defense. Defense. So the number to get is a 46, but we'll check who the defensive check is on. It's on the error rating of the shortstop. The shortstop in this case for the Tigers is Verizor. He is an error rating of 4. And it was a 46. Error rating 4, but a 46 means he made the play. Now let's see if it was a grounder or a liner. It was a grounder, ground ball. So it's a 6-3 ground out. Verizor got to it, no problem. 1 away. And that will bring up the catcher, switch hitting Alan Ashby. So Alan Ashby steps to the plate. 0 for 2. We get a 6 and a 29. A 6 for Fidrych is in play, and a 29. 29 for Ashby in play against a right-hander just out of range. 29 will make it a pop out to second. So Ashby came oh so close, but just a little bit short there. It's a pop out to the second baseman for out number 2. And we move on to the second baseman, Steve Staggs. Steve Staggs. Staggs the batter. 2 outs, base is empty. Staggs is 0 for 1 with a walk. And we get a 4. That's defense again. And the result's a 96, so they're going to make the play, whatever it is. It's a pitcher check. Range on the pitcher. The range for Fidrych is a C. And so 96 definitely got the out for that. So it kind of an out. It's a ground ball out to Fidrych. So it's a 1-3 easy put out for Fidrych. And the Bird is flying through the Blue Jay order with 7 scoreless innings. We go to the 8th, and it's still a 1-0 Tiger lead. We will have a pitching change for the Blue Jays coming up very shortly. But first, Rusty Staub, lefty on lefty, going to let Garvin pitch to Staub. But after that, the bullpen, Jerry Johnson, will be coming in. So this is last batter for Garvin. It's an 8. An 8 for Garvin is tough. An 89. Tough 89 for Staub is a ground ball to short. And there's 1 away. And we'll get a pitching change. Timeout for the pitching change. All right, new pitcher is Jerry Johnson for the Blue Jays, a right-hander. And with that change, the Tigers have gone to their bench. Ralph Houck has pulled Mickey Stanley from the ball game. And left-handed hitting Tim Corcoran will take over. And he will stay in the game to play left field when the inning is over. So now we've got a new batter against new pitcher, lefty Corcoran against righty Jerry Johnson. And we get an 18 and an 8. 8 is tough for Johnson. And an 18, tough, Corcoran's going to hit a double. So Corcoran doubles on that tough roll of 18. So Corcoran with a pinch hit double. And that'll bring up Ben Oglivie. Ben Oglivie stepping to the plate with 1 out and 1 on. Ben Oglivie. It's a 9. So 9 is in play for Jerry Johnson. And the roll is a 48. 48 in play is a ground ball to third. Ground ball to third. And with the play in front of him, he's going to have to hold there. So Corcoran will hold at second base with 2 outs. And that'll bring up third baseman Aurelio Rodriguez, who has accounted for the only run of the game with a home run in his last at-bat, last inning. Here he is facing Johnson. This time he's got to face a righty. 6. 6 is tough. 89. Tough 89 is a fly to left, and the inning's over. So nothing doing for the Blue Jays. I'm sorry, for the Tigers in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring up the Blue Jays for the bottom of the 8th. See if they can get anything going whatsoever. Gary Woods will lead things off, but actually he will be called back for a pinch hitter, Sam Ewing. So Sam Ewing is going to be the pinch hitter for Gary Woods, as they're looking for a little bit of offense here. So Sam Ewing, left-handed hitter, as Woods on the day was 0 for 2, so they're looking for somebody to put the bat on the ball and get a base hit here. So Sam Ewing is on. He did hit .289 against right-handed pitching. So let's see if Ewing can get it done here to lead off the bottom of the 8th. Sam Ewing against the Bird. It's a 3. 3 is patient. Patient 6. That's a walk. So Sam Ewing draws a leadoff walk. And with Ewing on base with the walk, we will now get a pinch runner for Ewing. And that will be John Scott, the outfielder, and he will stay in the game to play center field going forward. So John Scott is going to pinch run and stay in the game to play center field in the 9th. So John Scott, the pinch runner. But right now, Al Woods, the batter. Al Woods, could he bunt, or is he going to let him hit away? He's going to let him hit away. It's a 10. 10 is in play. 56. In play, 56 is a ground ball to third. Let's check. It's a 10, so that's not going to be a double play. But what will it be? Let's check the result here. It is runner advancement. There is no double play, but it is going to be a runner advancement. So in this case, Al Woods, grounder to third, chopper to third, is thrown out 5-3, but Scott, the runner, will move up to second base. So he is in scoring position with 1 away for shortstop Bob Baylor, and this is the best chance for the Blue Jays. Heart of the order coming up. Baylor, then Alt, then Fairley. Tiger bullpen is still kind of quiet. It's an 8. 8 is tough for Fidrich. Tough 87. Tough 87 is a ground ball to short. And lead die of 8. Fidrich has a 10 double play rating. Baylor has a 6 double play rating, so it will not be a double play. Let's check the result here. And it's going to be... Oh, it's not a double play because the runner was at second base anyway. So check that. So it is simply going to be a ground ball to short, 6-3 ground out. The runner had to hold with the ball hit in front of him. So he's still at second base with 2 outs. For Doug Alt. Doug Alt might be his last chance of the ball game to do something. With John Scott at second base and 2 outs. He is the tying run on base. It's a 7. 7 is tough 64. Tough 64. He just missed it. 63 would have been a base hit, but it's a tough 64, which knocks it down to a ground ball to second, and the inning is over. So we've completed 8 innings here in Toronto with the score still the Tigers 1 and the Blue Jays nothing. And we'll be right back with a pitching change. All right, new Toronto reliever is left-hander Mike Willis. He's coming on to pitch the 9th. Try to keep the game right where it is. He'll be facing a couple of left-handers, Jason Thompson, Milt May, and then a right-hander for Riser. Right now, Thompson leads things off, lefty on lefty matchup. And we got a 9. A 9 for Willis is Patient. Patient 68. Patient 68 against a lefty. If the righty had still been in there, it would have been a double. But since Willis is in there, it's in the out range. And that makes it a ground ball to second. So, smart move by the Roy Hartsfield, the Blue Jay manager, to make that pitching change. Went from a double to a ground out to second. Huge difference to start the inning. And that'll bring up the catcher, Milt May. Another lefty. Milt May. We got a 6 and we got a 6. 6 and a 6. 6 is tough. 6 in the tough range is a strikeout. So Milt May gets the golden sombrero with his third strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up Tom Verizzer. Tom Verizzer. The bullpen is active for the Tigers. We do have right-hander Steve Falcout in the bullpen. And we also have left-hander John Hiller. So they're both loosening in case the Bird needs relief. Right now there's 2 outs, bases empty for Verizzer. We got a 10 under Willis's wheelhouse, and a 25. So Verizzer wheelhouse 25 against a lefty. He just missed it. It only goes to 23. So it ends up being a 25, which is a pop out to the catcher. So he pops out to Alan Ashby, and the inning is over. So one last chance for the Blue Jays. They trail 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. And leading off will be Ron Fairley, followed by Velez and Howell. But Fidrych talking Ralph Halkin to let him stay out there, at least until he gets into trouble. So let's see. Ron Fairley facing Fidrych to start the 9th. It is a 7. 7 is tough. Tough 62. Tough 62 is a ground ball to second. So there's 1 away. And Fidrych is 1 out away from a complete game. And he's got to face right fielder Otto Velez. And in this game, he's retired Velez twice and walked him once. It's an 11. An 11 is in play, and a 79. In play, 79 is a fly to center. So there's 2 away, 1 out away from wrapping this thing up. Last batter to have a chance is the third baseman, Roy Howell. So Howell with the last opportunity against Fidrych, and Howell is 0 for 3. It's an 11. 11 is in play. The roll is a 26. Roy Howell in play 26 is a base hit. So Roy Howell keeps it going with a 2-out single. And that will bring up catcher Alan Ashby. And I don't know that the Blue Jays have a whole lot on their bench left. We'll take a look here. They do have, I think they have Doug Rader on the bench. That's a possibility. He's got some pop, but he is a right-handed hitter. And Fidrych is right-handed, so they may stick with Ashby here. We'll wait and see. They're mulling over their options here. Rader does have a bat and is loosening on the on-deck circle. So we could very well see a pinch hitter here. Let's take a look. And we are. They've made the move. Doug Rader is going to come on and pinch hit. Doug Rader. They want somebody with a little more pop in their bat than Ashby has. So Doug Rader is pinch hitting here in the 9th with a runner on second and 2 outs. So this is it. Doug Rader against Mark Fidrych. It's a 9. A 9 is in play, and it's a 9. A 9 and a 9. That's a base hit. So let's see how far the runners can advance. On the single, they advance just 1 base. It was a short bloop single. So Howell will have to stop at second base. But Rader does the job with the base hit. And now, with second baseman Steve Staggs coming up, I believe we're going to get another pinch hitter from Roy Hartsfield. So we'll see who they decide to bring up now. I don't know who they have left. They don't have much. They may have to stick with Staggs because they really don't have a whole lot on their bench. They got Louis Gomez, Rick Cerrone, and Jim Mason. So I think they're going to have to stick with Staggs. I think we're going to have to stick with Staggs due to lack of options. Or lack of decent options, I should say. And the bird, despite kicking and screaming, is going to be lifted. So the bird Fidrych is going to come out. Steve Falkout, the pitcher, will come in. So Falkout will be right back with the pitching change. Okay, right-hander Steve Falkout is on. On the season of 1977, he did have 13 saves, so he was certainly part of a bullpen by committee to close. The right-handed version, so since Staggs is right-handed, that's where they went. So Staggs against Falkout, and the tying run in Roy Howell is at second base, and actually they may make a pinch running move here now that we think about it, because Howell's not very fleet of foot, and it looks like they might go to Louis Gomez. So hold the phone real quick here. Let's see what kind of running rating Louis Gomez has. I don't know what kind of run rating Louis Gomez has until we check it out. Jim Mason has an 8 run rating, so that's a possibility. Jim Mason. They may go to Jim Mason. So let's see here. Roy Howell. Roy Howell's run rating is a 6. So Mason will at least bump him up to an 8. So we do have Mason to pinch run. So Mason is now an 8. And that can be critical on a base hit. So Mason's pinch runner Mason, and he is a run rating of 8. So Staggs against Falkout, all the wheels have turned and we're ready to go and get the final result. Falkout a 4. 4 is tough 0-0. Wouldn't you know, we have an unusual play on the very last play. And on that, I'm going to have to get the charts because the fast action cards don't have an option for unusual play, at least not that I'm aware of. So I'll be right back with the charts and we'll take care of this unusual 0-0 play. Okay, we have a rare play chart with runners on base. We're going to roll the 2d6s and see what we get here as far as a potential unusual play. The 2d6 roll is a 7. A 7. So we'll go to the unusual play with runners on base. A 7. Reroll 2d10 and check ballpark. If result is within wheelhouse range, reroll dice and check batter's wheel section. Otherwise, deep fly caught by center fielder, runners advance 1 base. Well, the game would be over at that point. But we're going to re-roll the 2d10 and check the ballpark and see if we get a wheelhouse rating. And the wheelhouse rating for Steve Staggs for a right-handed hitter is a 48. So these 2d10s need to be a 48 or less. And they are not. It's a 59, so that means it's a fly ball to center field. And the ball game is over. So a little bit of anxiety there in the bottom of the 9th for Falkout, but he got the job done. And we'll be right back with the totals as the Tigers hang on to beat the Blue Jays by the score of 1-0. All right, the totals. Tigers win it 1-0. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Tigers. They left 8 runners on base. Blue Jays, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error. They left 8 runners on base. Winning pitcher was Mark the Bird Fidrych with 8 2/3 innings. Couldn't quite get the complete game, but he gave up 4 hits, no runs, walked 4, struck out 4. Falkout got the fly ball to center to end the ball game after the rare play check to earn the save. Jerry Garvin took the loss, a tough luck loss. He went 7 1/3 innings, giving up only 4 hits and 1 run. But that one hit, one of those runs on the hit was the home run by Aurelio Rodriguez, or we'd still be playing right now. He walked 5, struck out 4. Johnson, 2/3 of an inning with a hit, nothing else. Willis, 1 inning, a strikeout, nothing else. So that's going to do it from here from Payoff Pitch Baseball as the 1977 Detroit Tigers defeat the 1977 expansion Toronto Blue Jays by the score of 1-0. And I hope everybody is having a great time playing whatever game you're playing. And I'm going to get back to my History Maker baseball season in just a little bit. But wanted to play this game just to kind of get a break and play a different game and kind of break the monotony a little bit of always playing the same team in the same game over and over and over. Keep everything fresh. So I will see everybody down the road.